Hey everyone, this is Uthris. Welcome back to Let's Play Banished, Episode 3. So basically, we're continuing on with our expansion. I think this little town over here, which is producing most of our tools and clothing for now, is fairly stable. And as you can see, people are healthy, we have plenty of food, decent amount of tools, and a little bit of clothing left. Speed up the time. 2 times 5. So we're just kind of waiting for our population to expand, and this small little village over here, you know, it's not quite a specialized village yet. I mean, this one up here is kind of our basic tools and clothing, and we need a little bit more professional buildings over here, and I'm thinking a chandlery, if that's how you say it. I could have butchered that terribly. Basically, it's going to function with this apiary, which produces honey, and we'll be able to use that hopefully to make some wax and proceed to, you know, give just another profession, and these two will be linked, and this is what this town will be kind of known for. I got some suggestions to build a market stall with a bunch of houses around it, and that is definitely the plan for sure. Just for these smaller villages, if you build a market stall too early, you're kind of throwing all your resources in this central location. That's the purpose of the market stall, and it's a wonderful thing, but early on it can actually produce some negative side effects. That, say, if I build a market stall here in this village, it would try and pull all the resources from up here when I still need them to use this area and store their goods. So the best thing for now, I think, is to, one, we need a new tailor, and they'll actually remain as a tailor permanently in this village. Be nice due to our population increase. We have plenty of food, so we can do kind of a large expansion. Well, as large as we can make it. I mean, we are still limited by how quickly our children grow. Let's see. I was thinking also just having a small fishing dock here as well. I like having a few buildings by the river. It can look very nice. I don't think I like this version of the house. There we go. So you can rotate through different variations of a building by pressing F. Of course, R and T will rotate the building that you're placing. Usually there's only variations of houses, but occasionally a mod will come out with multiple variations. Thinking I'm gonna go ahead and up how many people we have working in the Forester's Lodge. That way we have a good supply of lumber. And we'll be probably unassigning this tailor here once we have a decent amount of tools. We need to harvest a bunch of stone. A quarry will probably be a next town that will be needed to be built. And I'm thinking about sticking that kind of up in the mountains, that way it fits in this spot up here. And basically when we start working on this main city, we're going to have a supply line of stone coming from the north along the river and into the city. I prefer to make specialized towns. I just find it a little bit more realistic than making a town that can do everything perfectly. The city, of course, is just going to be a lot of housing. Most of the professions will be there, and then surrounded by farmland and orchards, things like that. It'll also house the schools, the town hall, and a bunch of decorative items once we get there. I think I'm going to increase the speed to times 10 just to speed things along. Forgot how slow this can get. So we need to clear out just stone, because that's going to help us a lot later. And I'm just going to make sure everything around the buildings we've already placed has been collected. That way I don't have to walk quite as far to get our harvested resources. Our population still is growing. If this was without the mod, we would probably be already at like 5 times the population we have now, which would mean a lot quicker in terms of expansion, but it's a little unrealistic for my liking, and then also it can just be not as fun in my opinion. This laborer is bringing some stone for one of the new fishing docks. And I like to make every little town kind of independent. So this one, you know, it can get their own firewood, it'll be able to harvest their own wood, provide their own food, and a trade good. These market stalls, just for effect, really. In fact, just to make the question marks disappear, I'll turn them off for now. Our coat supply is back up to where it needs to be, and our tool supply is still nice and even. Looks like our laborer wants to try and finish this house first. I really like in this game the fact that we have, you know, all this forest and it looks very untamed, and then you get this awesome plot of land effect going. So it's like, you know, this area is civilized and everything else around it is just this wilderness that you're yet to conquer, and, you know, winding paths going through it, connecting it to this one, which is, you know, very nice and cleared away. The trees will encroach again due to the Forester's Lodge, but it can look nice. It's very beautiful to have a bunch of trees mixed into the buildings. I mean, essentially, at this stage, we've really beaten the game. You're going to keep making these small towns and small towns and small towns and basically grow your population to infinity, as long as the map can hold it. But, you know, we're going to go with more of a approach to it in the terms of making it aesthetically pleasing and trying to give us own challenges to conquer. The fact that, you know, I'm trying for one profession for each small town. The city will house all the professions, but each small town will also have its one specialized thing. This one's a little bit of a specialty. I mean, it has a tailor and a blacksmith, but that's just due to the need of what we had at the beginning. We didn't want people dying from cold, and it really cuts down on your firewood needs when people have clothing. I think around 10 minutes we're going to be doing another nice long time lapse. If you guys want me to do like a voiceover during the time lapse, you can let me know in the comments, and I can start doing that starting next episode. This one will just be another plain time lapse with the in-game music playing as last time. And I like using time lapse in this game more than Medieval Engineers because it's a pulled away perspective. You can kind of see the land just get cleared and then buildings rise up. And it's really just a really nice effect for time lapse in my opinion. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and switch our laborer to a builder. As you can see, he's gone off and harvested 98 stone from the areas we designated a bit ago. In fact, he's harvested a good bit of it, which is wonderful. So once these buildings will get done, as you can see, we still have a lot of empty housing, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It could lead into a spontaneous population increase and cause some food issues here shortly, but I think we're managing that fairly well at the moment. And I think from here on, you guys get to see a bit of a time lapse. So I'll be right back, and you guys can enjoy this. Well, everyone, this is our first disaster on our save. It looks like we're getting a tornado. It's relatively far away from everything at the moment. I doubt it will do any damage to anything. It's kind of in this lower right-hand corner of the map, and we're occupying kind of the more central location. But it is pretty cool. It does leave a trail of destruction in terms of trees in its path. And really, okay, please stop going that way. Okay, it's pretty much going straight north. It shouldn't hit us unless it turns to the left. And, yeah, we should be good. Anyways, it's a pretty cool effect when houses and stuff get swept up in it. It's pretty cool looking as well. Looks like it's heading right now. Yeah. Perfectly a-okay, I guess. So I'll go ahead and sum up what we worked on today, and so we're having a little bit of a wood crisis, if you guys can't tell, and I don't know why. I mean, I just went ahead and assigned more people to the Forester's Lodge. We'll probably need more eventually anyways. I think the next small village is going to have another Forester's Lodge. So what we did was we built our candler and a new fishing dock. Also, I started adding little decorations around the town, so I added a large cart full of what looks to be trade goods near these little market stalls. And I also think, yes, I added one up here full of food goods near the little fishing post. Added some crates, little wood splitting area, some more outhouses and smaller carts, and these type of things. Just add a little bit of detail here and there, which is really nice for the overall look, I think. But the big thing that we accomplished this episode, besides going about 10 years, 5 to 10 years of gameplay, is we've laid out the foundation for the quarry and the huts that the miners will be living in. I didn't want to use all normal wooden huts like this one. This one hopefully will naturally become the home of the hunting cabin, or you can consider it the foreman of the area. And these guys will just be used in the quarry as very hard labor, and they live in these little shacks. Very little shacks. They're like 2 to 3 people per little shack. And if they get out of line, I went ahead and built a little gallows. So, you know, just gotta make sure to suppress this area a little bit. This is, you know, nothing special going on here besides this is the quarry. The nice thing about Colonial Charter, the main conversion that we're using, is, I didn't know this, I can expand the quarry. You make it into a deeper quarry, which basically refreshes, I think, I haven't built one yet, refreshes all the materials inside the quarry itself. So I think that'll be a pretty cool thing to do eventually, once this quarry is getting a little low. And luckily, we need candles that we produce in this town down here. So that's a pretty cool dichotomy. The southern town kind of supporting the northern town by producing those candles. And then also laid, you know, some winding roads to the forest to this location. Used up 100% of my stone over here, building and working on this tunnel. And this tunnel is going to connect the mining village to the quarry village to the actual mine. And this is where we'll be getting all of our iron. And I don't know what food production to put over here. Maybe a gatherer's hut. Or I may just have them import all their food. That might be an interesting thing to do, because you can just assign one person to it, the stall, and then just have them all the time constantly gathering food from the other places around the town. It's kind of the nice thing about having a trade location. But this area isn't done yet. This is probably what we're going to work on next episode, or at least flesh all this out, get this all balanced. Our food is consumption is fairly even right now. We'll probably have to put 1 or 2 more people in there eventually, just so it evens out and stays ahead of the curve. This hunter's, I don't know if they're using this hunter's log, or I mean this meat locker or not. I hope they are, because if not, he would have to walk quite a distance to turn in his meat and leather, but whatever. That's okay. Obviously the game is really telling me we have no lumber, which is fine. We used a lot of it building this upper area, and I think it'll balance itself out here in a year or so in game. But I think that'll do it for this episode. Thanks again for watching. If you guys are enjoying the series, feel free to leave me a like or a comment on what kind of profession we want to build next. I'll go ahead and name some few because you guys, I mean, they're not made up. These are actual things. So we can build a butcher stall, a butchery, I guess, and you can have specializations for different kinds of meat, which would be pretty cool. We can build a straight up fishing village, oil press. We don't have a farm, so that'd be a little moot. Orphan a ship. What's this? That looks cool. This is yeah, we're gonna have to build some type of port in the giant lake near the city once we get that far, and have a lot of these awesome looking ships. A dairy. Again, we don't really have any animals yet. We haven't started trading anything. How about more professions here? How about some silkworms? This way we can get some silk going and use that for something. I don't know what. It's a sawmill. I like sawmill. Does it go in the water? It does. Okay, since we're low on lumber and this game's kind of yelling at me for it, we're gonna do a lumber mill kind of area. And I'm thinking south of the quarry in this little area here, because we can fit a sawmill right along the river. Put 1, maybe 2 forester's huts and a woodcutters, you know, so we have kind of a supply of firewood, and then a couple houses, and we'll have them import their food as well. So the lumber mill will be importing food, and the mine will be importing food. But that'll do it for this episode. See you guys tomorrow.